Let me ask you the most painful question you'll ever hear. Why is it that you can give a woman everything, your love, your time, your loyalty, your energy, your money, and she can still leave you like you never existed? Why is it that you can buy her the Louis Vuitton bags, take her on luxury trips to Paris, surprise her with a $50,000 car, and yet the moment someone better comes along, she's gone without a second thought? It doesn't make sense, right? But here's the brutal truth most men don't want to face. Women are not loyal to what you do for them. They are loyal to how they feel when they're with you, and that's where most men lose. You think giving more will make her stay. You think proving your love will make her choose you. You think sacrificing everything will make her loyal, but if she's the wrong woman, none of it matters. I've seen men in Los Angeles with Bugattis, penthouses in New York, and seven-figure bank accounts lose their women to guys who have none of that. Why? Because women don't stay where the money is. They stay where their emotions are alive. The wrong woman will play the love game to win your gifts, your attention, your lifestyle. But the right woman? She doesn't care if you drive a Lamborghini or a bicycle, and because she chooses you, not your wallet. In this video, I'm going to reveal the Stoic secrets behind women's loyalty, why they leave, why they stay, and how to never make the mistakes that keep breaking your heart. Stay with me, because after this you'll never look at women, loyalty, or love the same way again. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Effort. I used to believe something that ruined me for years. If I just love her enough, if I just give her enough, if I just do enough for her, she'll stay. That belief controlled everything I did, every text I sent, every date I planned, every decision I made when I was around women. And looking back now, I realize that belief was the biggest reason I lost respect, attraction, and ultimately relationships. I still remember when I was dating Emily in London. She was beautiful, smart, ambitious, the kind of woman you imagine building a future with. And because I valued her so much, I thought the way to keep her was to prove my worth constantly. I'd drive 2 hours just to pick her up from work. I'd cancel plans with friends to be available for her. I'd spend ridiculous amounts of money on little surprises just to make her happy. I thought this was love. But deep down, I wasn't showing love, I was showing dependence. And here's where most men go wrong. When you overgive, overinvest, and overprioritize a woman, she doesn't see it the way you think she does. You assume she'll see your effort and appreciate it. But what actually happens is the opposite. She starts feeling something you don't. Expect disconnection. Why? Because women don't fall in love with what you do for them. They fall in love with how they feel when they're with you. This is the illusion of effort. Back then, I didn't understand this. I thought relationships worked like transactions. If I give more, she'll give me loyalty. But loyalty doesn't work like that. Loyalty isn't earned by doing more, it's earned by being more. The moment I realized this was one random evening in Soho. I was sitting in a quiet, little cafe, frustrated and confused about why Emily had become distant despite everything I was doing. Then I overheard a conversation between two women at the next table. One of them said something that hit me like lightning. I like him because he doesn't need me. He has his own life, his own world. Being with him feels like stepping into an adventure. That's when everything clicked. Emily didn't want more gifts. She didn't want more texts. She didn't want more attention. She wanted the feeling of being with a man who had his own direction, his own confidence, his own purpose. I started noticing this everywhere, in conversations and relationships around me, in the way women responded differently to different men. I realized something powerful. Women are not loyal to your actions. They're loyal to the energy you carry, and your energy doesn't come from overgiving, chasing, or trying to earn her love. Your energy comes from your self-possession, your ability to be grounded, secure and calm in who you are. That night in Soho changed everything for me. I stopped trying to buy loyalty with effort. I stopped over-prioritizing her needs above my own. I stopped bending my entire existence around her approval. And here's what's wild. The moment I stopped trying so hard, Emily's behavior changed. She became more affectionate, more present, more invested. That's when I realized women respect the man who doesn't need their validation. And that's the essence of Stoic attraction. When you're focused on your mission, your values, your growth, you create a gravitational pull. You don't chase. You don't force. You attract. Chapter 2. The Stoic Truth About Loyalty. After my experience with Emily, I became obsessed with understanding loyalty. I wanted to know why some women stay deeply connected to certain men, while others drift away no matter how much effort you put in. I spent months studying Stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, and what I discovered completely changed the way I view relationships. Here's the truth. Women are not loyal to what you do. They are loyal to who you are. A Stoic man doesn't buy loyalty with money, attention, or constant effort. He inspires loyalty through presence, strength, and self-mastery. Think about this. Why do women leave men who provide everything? I've seen it in Manchester, Cambridge, and Brighton, men with good jobs, good looks, and good hearts, left behind by women who once swore they'd never leave. Because loyalty isn't logical, it's emotional. Women stay loyal when they feel safe, alive, and inspired in your presence. And you can't fake that. One of the most important Stoic lessons comes from Epictetus. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. The moment you try to control a woman's loyalty, by giving more, doing more, or trying to lock her down, you've already lost. Because her loyalty isn't something you force. It's something you inspire. I tested this without telling anyone. I stopped over-texting. I stopped over-planning. I stopped trying to perform for her. Instead, I started focusing on myself, my fitness, my passions, my business, my purpose. And something incredible happened. Women started responding differently. Suddenly, the conversations were deeper. The hugs were warmer. The energy felt effortless. That's when I realized this. Women are loyal to what you represent in their lives. If you represent strength, direction, and calmness, she'll naturally be drawn to you. If you represent chaos, insecurity, and neediness, she'll drift away. One night in Cambridge, I met a girl named Sophie through mutual friends. We talked for hours, and at the end of the night, she said something that stayed with me. You have this energy, like you don't need me, but you enjoy being with me. That's it. That's the essence of attraction. That's the Stoic truth about loyalty. A man who doesn't need a woman creates the exact energy that makes her want to stay. This isn't about games. It's not manipulation. It's about alignment. When you're grounded in who you are, when your purpose is bigger than your relationship, you naturally inspire respect, desire, and yes, loyalty. Chapter 3. Women follow strength, not sacrifice. Here's something most men never want to hear. No matter how much you do for her, no matter how much you sacrifice, no matter how much you prove your love, it will never guarantee her loyalty. I learned this the hard way. After my breakup with Emily, I started dating a girl named Hannah in Manchester. She was gorgeous, full of life, and had this magnetic energy that drew everyone toward her. And because I didn't want to lose her, I fell into the same trap again. I started overgiving. I'd skip business meetings to spend time with her. I'd drive late at night just because she said she missed me. I'd change my plans, bend my priorities, and rearrange my entire life just to keep her happy. I thought I was doing the right thing. But over time, something unexpected happened. The more I gave, the less she seemed to value it. She started becoming distant, colder, and less responsive, and I couldn't understand why. Then one evening, I was venting to a friend over coffee in Leeds. He looked me dead in the eye and said something I'll never forget. Mate, you're not her boyfriend anymore, you're her employee. That hit me like a punch to the chest. I realized I wasn't showing strength. I was showing sacrifice, and there's a massive difference. Women don't fall for men who give up everything for them. They fall for men who stand strong in their own world and invite them into it. This isn't about being cold or selfish. It's about having a spine. It's about having boundaries, direction, and self-respect. That's when I started studying Stoic philosophy more deeply. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." I realized my problem wasn't Hannah, it was my perception. I thought love was measured by sacrifice. I believed if I gave more, I'd be loved more. But what actually happens is the opposite. When you sacrifice your purpose, you lose your edge. When you lose your edge, you lose your presence. When you lose your presence, you lose her respect. So I made a shift. I stopped skipping work just to see her. I started saying no when it conflicted with my priorities. I put my focus back on my life, my growth, my mission, and something unexpected happened. Hannah started chasing me. She became more affectionate, more invested, and more interested in my world. That's when I understood the truth. Women don't follow sacrifice, they follow strength. A man who sacrifices everything becomes predictable, and predictability kills desire. But a man who stands strong, rooted in his mission, becomes magnetic. When you hold your ground, she doesn't feel neglected, she feels inspired. Women aren't drawn to men who need them. They're drawn to men who choose them while still choosing themselves first. This is where most men lose themselves. They confuse pleasing a woman with attracting her. Pleasing leads to comfort. Attraction comes from tension. And tension comes from strength, your ability to walk your own path even when she pulls you in another direction. I know this sounds counterintuitive, but trust me, I've lived it. The moment you stop trying to earn her loyalty with endless sacrifices and instead focus on being a strong, grounded present man, you'll realize something powerful. You never needed to chase her at all. You just needed to become someone worth following. Chapter 4. The energy she can't resist. Here's the deepest Stoic secret I've ever learned about women. Attraction isn't about looks, money, or words, it's about energy. You can buy her flowers, take her to Paris, write her love letters, and still, she won't feel what she wants to feel if your energy is off. Let me explain. After Hannah, I spent a summer in Brighton. I was at this small beach cafe when I met Sophia, a writer from Oxford. She was stunning, elegant, witty, and effortlessly confident. We talked for hours about philosophy, travel, and life. But here's the thing, I wasn't trying to impress her. I wasn't telling jokes, showing off, or over-explaining myself. I was simply way present. I wasn't thinking about the next move, the next word, the next compliment. I was grounded, calm, focused, and Sophia noticed. At one point, she looked at me and said something I'll never forget. There's something different about you, like you're not trying to win me, but I still feel pulled toward you. That's when it hit me. It wasn't what I was saying that made her feel connected. It was what I was being. This is what most men get wrong. They think attraction comes from doing more, giving more, talking more, proving more. But real attraction comes from being grounded, being secure, being fully present. Women can sense energy in ways men often don't understand. She can feel if you're needy. She can feel if you're anxious. She can feel if you're overcompensating. And here's the brutal truth. If you carry desperation, she'll feel it, even if you hide it. But if you carry calmness, confidence, and self-respect, she'll feel that too, and she won't be able to ignore it. This is why Stoic philosophy is so powerful. Stoicism teaches us that the only thing we truly control is ourselves, our thoughts, our energy, our reactions. When you master yourself, you naturally project the kind of energy that women find magnetic. It's why some men walk into a room and instantly command attention without saying a single word. It's not their height, their car, or their clothes. It's their presence. Sophia once told me something that perfectly sums this up. Being around you feels calm, but exciting. That's the energy women crave. Calmness with a hint of mystery. Groundedness with an edge of passion. And here's the secret. You can't fake it. You can't pretend to be confident. You can't pretend to be grounded. You have to become it. When you build a life you're proud of, when you follow your mission, when you respect yourself, you radiate an energy that draws women in naturally. At that point, loyalty isn't something you ask for. It's something you inspire. Women aren't loyal to gifts, sacrifices, or promises. They're loyal to how they feel when they're around you. And when you become the man who radiates strength, calmness, and purpose, she won't just stay. She'll choose to stay. Chapter 5. Why her emotions decide her loyalty. I want you to pause for a moment and really think about this. Why do some women leave men who provide everything, love, money, time, energy, while they stay loyal to men who sometimes give them much less? I used to believe women made decisions logically. I thought if I just gave enough, if I was the perfect boyfriend, if I provided comfort and stability, she'd stay forever. But the truth hit me when I studied female psychology alongside Stoic philosophy. Women are emotional creatures first, logical creatures second. That's not an insult, it's an insight. I learned this during a trip to Cambridge, where I attended a seminar on behavioral psychology. The speaker explained something fascinating. A woman's loyalty is tied directly to the emotional experience she has when she's with you. Not to the things you buy, not to the plans you make, but to how she feels in your presence. That night, everything clicked. I started thinking back to my past relationships. With Emily, I gave gifts, I planned everything. I made myself constantly available. But emotionally, I wasn't leading. I wasn't creating an experience where she felt excited, alive, and connected. Here's the hard truth. If you're always trying to do more for her without making her feel more, you'll always lose to the man who creates a stronger emotional impact. Think about it. In London, I've seen women leave men with expensive cars and 5-star apartments for guys who live in small flats in Brighton. Why? Because those men knew how to make her feel something. And this isn't manipulation. This isn't about tricks. This is about presence. Women feel deeply connected to men who are grounded. They're calm under pressure, unshaken by drama, unpredictable in healthy ways. They keep life exciting without chaos. Passionate about their mission, they radiate purpose. Emotionally intelligent, they sense her energy without her saying a word. I remember meeting Sophia from Oxford one summer in Brighton. We spent hours walking by the pier and she told me something powerful. It's never about what a man gives me. It's about how I feel when he's around. That's when I realized loyalty is an emotional bond, not a logical contract. And this is where most men fail. They keep doing, giving, proving, but they ignore feeling. Here's the Stoic angle. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. You cannot control whether she stays or leaves, but you can control the energy you bring when you're with her. If you're anxious, she'll feel it. If you're desperate, she'll feel it. If you're calm, grounded, and fully present, she'll feel that too, and she won't want to let it go. Because women are drawn to the men who make them feel alive, safe, and inspired at the same time. This is why some men barely try, yet women chase them relentlessly. It's not the words. It's not the gifts, it's the energy they carry. That's the emotional code. Once you unlock it, you stop chasing loyalty and start inspiring it naturally. Chapter 6. Become the man. She chooses every time. Here's the reality most men don't want to accept. Loyalty can't be bought. It has to be inspired. You can't force her to stay. You can't convince her with long speeches or endless effort. You can only become the kind of man she chooses again and again, no matter who else is around. I discovered this during a conversation with a mentor in London, a man in his 50s who'd been happily married for 25 years. I asked him the secret and he smiled and said, "Stop worrying about keeping her. Start focusing on keeping yourself." That one sentence shifted my entire perspective. See, when you're living at your highest level, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you naturally create an energy that's rare, and women can feel it instantly. I tested this in my own life. After my breakup with Hannah, I stopped dating for 6 months. Instead, I built myself up. I focused on my fitness, grew my business, traveled to Manchester and Cambridge, and rediscovered my passions. And here's what surprised me. The less I chased, the more women became curious. I remember one night at a rooftop bar in London, a woman named Chloe approached me and said, "You have this vibe like you're perfectly happy without anyone, but I want to be part of that world." That's when it hit me. Women aren't loyal to what you give them. They're loyal to what you represent in their lives. If you represent strength, purpose, calmness, and growth, she'll keep choosing you even when she has other options. This doesn't mean being arrogant or untouchable. It means being so rooted in who you are that she knows she can't find your energy anywhere else. Here's the Stoic truth. Control yourself, not her choices. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. When you stop proving, you start inspiring. When you stop seeking, you start leading. And the man who leads himself first is the man women never want to lose. Sophia once said something that still stays with me today. The most attractive thing about you isn't what you do, it's who you are when you're not trying. That's the secret most men never learn. Don't try to keep her. Become the man she chooses every time, even when she doesn't have to. Because the truth is simple. Women are loyal to one thing only, how they feel when they're around you. Master that, and you'll never need to chase again. Conclusion. Most men spend their entire lives chasing loyalty from women, never realizing they're chasing the wrong thing. Stop trying to make her stay. Become the man she chooses to stay with. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.